Hello, we're back for part two. So we're going to come down onto the floor. So when you stand with your feet hip distance apart, remember you can always use your thumb little finger just to take a note of where the little toes sit. They need to sit between those 2 points. Shoulder blades back and down. Let's inhale up. As we exhale, bend the knees, hands onto the thighs. Gently walk your hands down onto the floor. Hands beneath the shoulders, knees beneath the hips. Shoelaces to the floor, elbows slightly soft, pushing the tailbone towards the back of the room, shoulder blades together, and we want to be able to rest a nice tray of canapes on your back without them falling off side to side. So a sign of simple tucks, you know these well. Make sure the eyes are looking down to the floor, we're not looking in front, we're not looking under, just straight down. Let's tuck the tailbone under and lift up. Tuck under and lift, tuck under and lift, tuck under and lift. Breathing in, breathing out. Remember, this movement is all about the lumbar spine, okay? So it's just that lumbar spine that's moving. The thoracic spine should be still, as is the cervical. And we're just getting movement into the lower back. So nice and steady. Controlled. So just for 4, excuse me, and 3, and 2, and 1, and hold in position, nice and steady. This time, all I want you to do is we're going to slide out opposite arm and opposite leg. So we just slide out and then bring it in. Now, as we alternate between the two, what I want you to be really conscious of is that as you come back, the elbow stays soft on the opposing side, that the shoulders stay level as you go through the movement. So nice and steady. Controlled. Keep it going. 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Now bring it back. What I want you to do this time, now this is tough on the wrist, let's just come back onto our heels for a moment, just rotate the wrists one more, just getting carried away there, wasn't I? Just rotate one way, rotate on the other. And just take your hands into a fist, and as you roll them into a fist, roll your wrists towards your chest, and then out. So roll in, roll out, roll in, roll out, roll in, roll out. So this time, come back onto all fours for me. So, I know I kept you with a basic level there, really, you might feel, taking it in and out, don't worry. Because this time, what I want you to do is we're going to take it out, we're going to take it off the ground, and we're just going to hold it there, okay? So we've had the repetition this time, so we take it out, then lift, and hold. Eyes and nose are looking down, shoulders are level, hips are level, we're nice and strong. Elbow is soft on that supporting side. Core is engaged, shoelaces to the floor, tailbone to the back of the room, shoulder blades joined together. That tray of canapes is still on your back. Bring it down, straight onto the other side for me. Let us go. Hold it here, nice and strong, hips level, shoulders level. Controlled, breathing nice and steady. Take a deep breath. Exhale, bring it down. Take your knees as wide as your mat. Big toes together. I'm going to put my foot just on top because it's more comfortable with my broken toe. If this is uncomfortable on your knees and hips, come back like so in child's pose, or stick your bum up in the air rather than bringing the bum back. Ouch. So nice and steady, come back into position, let the head drop between the arms. Remember, we never want a crease in the back of the neck, we never want that head to be dropping, so you've got a crease at the base. So what you can do is just rest the head, the forehead on the cushion, reaching out, elbows soft. So it's up to you, hold it there. So pelvic floor engaged, tailbone tucked under. Let's take a deep breath. As you exhale, lift the head, rotate the forearms up, and just take your hands into a fist and release. Into a fist and release. Into a fist and release. And then just rotate them one way, and then rotate them the other way. And then relax. Gently come forward, and we're going to come down into our side leg series. So remember, we've got two ways of doing this. We can either, self-adjusted, we can either lay with our cushion and our arm long, or if we've got shoulder issues, we can use our block or our hardback book and rest our arm, our head up on there, and then rest the arms so they're like so. So we're going to be in a nice straight leg position to begin with. So my arms in front, I can have one hand on top, I could have it on my hip, I could have my fingers spread out, rest on the floor, or I could have it on the side of my thigh to challenge myself even more. So my feet are slightly flexed, if that's okay. If you've got sciatica issues, you can keep them relaxed. I want you to imagine someone's pulling that top leg away from you, so they're trying to make that top leg longer. And so what that's going to do is give us this hollow in underneath. It's very, very small. We could just get a stamp under there, and we hold that position. All we're going to do is I want you to flex that foot, lift it up, point, flex, bring it down. So we come up, point, flex, down. Point, flex, down. Point, flex, down. Up, point, flex, down. Up, point, flex, down. 4 more. Up, point, flex, down. Up, point, flex, down. Last 2. Up, point, flex, down. Last 1. Up, point, flex, down. Now take it up, point and hold. Stay there for me. As you're pointing, we want to have contraction in the thigh going on. Hand can either still be on the thigh, on the floor, on the hip, whatever feels right. So it's going to just do a little pulse here towards the other foot. So just for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold at the top again. Now flex the foot and let's have that pulse again. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold. Very gently bend that leg over the top. Give it a rub. Give it a rub. Check it's still there and it's happy. One hand in front. Now we've got 2 choices here. We can have the leg like so, or we can bring it round, try and grab the foot so the hips are more on top of one another. When the knee's down, there is that slight tendency to rock forward into the pelvis, but it's what you can manage, okay? And the foot can be flat to the floor, but further away along from the body. It doesn't matter if you can't grab hold of it, that's absolutely fine. So it's like another anchor, I guess, if you can bring it a bit higher. So bottom leg straight, foot slightly flexed, if it can. We come up and down, but it's never coming all the way down. It's always just hovering just slightly off the floor. So up and down, up and down. Inhale and exhale. So just for 4 and 3 and 2, and I want you to hold it up. Can we point and flex? point and flex, 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 point, flex, point, flex. Hold, little pulse again, just for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, point, little pulse again, just for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Hand down, bend both knees, give both legs a rub, and we're coming over onto our front. So, we can just pop our cushion block to the side, hands just in front. So, literally pushing up into cobra position. So shoelaces to the floor, eyes looking forward. So we're starting here and we can stay here. Or we take a deep breath. As exhale, we can lift and reach the arms out a little bit more. Then bring the elbows down and hold. And again, lift and bring it down. Now remember, if it's uncomfortable, just stay in that baby cobra position where you're just looking forward, because that's giving you a nice stretch and elongation in your abdominals. So just nice and gently lifting and straightening those arms out if we can, looking forward. Let's have 2 more of these. Last one. Bring it down. Bring your hands down and rest your head just on the back of your hands. Let your head turn in one direction for a moment. And then let the head turn in the opposite direction for a moment. This time, so our feet are hip distance apart, our eyes and nose are looking down. Again, if we so wish, we could use the cushion to rest our forehead on here. So shoelaces onto the floor. I want you to imagine that you are lying on a lila. You feel safe, secure, and you are lying on a lila in a lovely little swimming pool. It's not very deep, the water's very shallow, it's crystal clear, nice blue colour. You can see all the way to the bottom, but you feel nice and safe. And all you're going to do is your hips facing down on the floor, pelvic floor is engaged. You're going to lift both feet up from the floor so that the knees are just slightly off the floor. And then laying on that lila, imagine you're just splashing your feet in the floor, so in the pool, so just up and down, and the head's just resting down, so up and down, up and down. So all about the legs today, so I apologise. So nice and steady, obviously all about the core as well, but there's a lot going on in your glutes, your thighs today, and your core. So just for 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax, both legs down. This time, so keeping the feet hip distance apart, can we draw the right foot up? As it comes up, flex the foot, point the toes, take it down. So opposite leg comes up, flex, point, down. Opposite leg again, up, flex, point, down. Breathe in, flex, point, breathe out. Up, point, flex, sorry, point, and down. I'm losing my way. Up, flex, point, and down. Up, flex, point, and down. Up, flex, point, and down. 2 more. Up, flex, point, and down. Last time. Up, flex, point, and down. Give the bums a little shake. The bum cheeks a little shake, and let it relax there for a moment. We're going to roll onto the opposite side and do the side leg series on the opposite side. So let's take a deep breath. And exhale, let's roll onto the other side. I'm just going to roll over to the other end of my mat so you can still see me, but you don't have to. I'm also just going to have a cheeky swipe of water because I'm getting a little bit dry in the throat. That's better. So nice and steady. Now remember, you can either have your arm long and have the cushion resting on, or you can have your shoulders stacked on top of one another, okay? If you've got shoulder issues, then I would definitely be going for this option. I personally prefer this position, but it's each to their own. So, legs are stacked on top of one another. Feet slightly flexed if you can, if that's okay. One hand on the hip, on the floor, by the side. Obviously extended up makes it harder still. So, core is engaged, pelvic floor is engaged. Imagine someone's got hold of this top leg and they're trying to pull it away. And as they pull it away, you get a hollowing underneath the hip. Hands in front. All we're going to do, top foot flex, lift up, hold it there, point, flex, and down. So it comes up, point, flex, and down. 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 Breathe in, breathe out. Last one. Now, hold it there. So it's in that flex foot position. Let's have a little pulse just for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, hold. Let's point the toes, let's pulse again. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, hold. Nice and steady, just holding it there. Taking a deep breath. As you exhale, bending that leg over the top. Give it a pat or a rub if you need to. We're going into the second part of the exercise. Now we can either have our foot to the floor, or remember if it's here or it's here, that's fine. You can have it there. It just means your hips are going to rock forward a little bit. So if you've got it there, I want you to be as conscious as you can about trying to keep those hips as stacked as possible. So that bottom leg extended, excuse me, don't know where my voice is going today. So nice and steady, let's lift up, foot slightly flexed, and down. So we come up and down, just for 8, and 7, and 6, and 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and hold, and point, and flex, and point, and flex, and point, and flex, and point, flex, point, flex, hold, little pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Point, pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Bring it down. Bend both knees. Give it a little rub, give it a little pat. We're going to roll onto our backs. Now you can keep the cushion there if you wish for imprints, but remember when we do bridge, we need to take it out. So resting on our back, hands just by the side. We want to have our eyes looking up towards the ceiling. So they don't want to be looking behind, they don't want to be looking in front. If they're looking behind, nod your chin. If they're looking in front, lift your chin. Hands by the side. Core nice and strong. Excuse me, sorry. So, all we're going to do is tuck the tailbone up towards the ceiling, imprint in the lower back, imprint mid-back, upper back, release the upper back, the mid-back, lower back, so you get that natural curve in the spine. So we're just rocking the pelvis, and as we rock the pelvis back, we imprint the spine all the way along the mat. So the whole of the mat and the spine are completely together. There is no space between the two. They are just completely together. So nice and steady. So let's have 2 more. And the last one, this is really good for opening up the lower back, but also working the pelvic floor, the abdominal connection there, and then bring it back to neutral spine. So before we move on to the bridge, we're going to stretch out the hamstrings, and I'm going to use my band. So if you have a strap, and don't get up like that, that was really bad. Forgot I'd just thrown it right at the other end. So always roll onto your side as you come up. So if you have a strap or a band, straighten the leg out as best as you can. We don't want the knee bent really, because we want to try and stretch into the back of the hamstrings. So it's not about getting that thigh down to the chest, it's about straightening that leg and then drawing it towards the body, and you'll feel that stretch in your hamstrings. So we're just holding it there. Now if we've got any active sciatica going on, then just hug the knee rather than stretching the hamstrings, because it's going to aggravate it potentially. This supporting leg can stay bent, or you can straighten it out. Keeping it bent takes any pressure out of the lower back, so it's totally up to you. I personally find it more comfortable to have my leg bent because I've got lower back issues, but it's each to their own. So nice and steady, hold it there, hold it there. So let's take a deep breath in. As we exhale, can we draw it any closer? And again. Let's bend that knee into the chest, slip that band off, do exactly the same on the other side. So remember, it's a developmental stretch, so straightening that leg out. This leg can either be bent or straight. If we've got active sciatica, we're hugging the knee rather than straightening the leg out. And we're drawing it towards the chest, keeping that knee straight, keeping the knee locked out. So we're getting the stretch into the hamstrings. Eyes looking up to the ceiling, holding it there. Taking a deep breath. Can we draw it any closer? And hold. Nice and steady, holding it there. Can we take a deep breath and draw it a little bit more? And just hold. Now let's take a deep breath. As you exhale, bend the knee into the chest. Gently take it down and away. We're moving into our bridge sequence now. So we don't want to have a cushion under our head unless you know you've got an overextension, and then by all means you can place a cushion under your neck. Usually if you've got an overextension, we would have given you a thin block or a cushion to put underneath your head in the studio. So just do that check again, that your eyes are looking up, your eyes aren't looking behind, they're not looking in front. If they're looking behind, nod the chin. If they're looking in front, lift the chin. If you do that and you find that you're still either looking behind or looking in front, then maybe you need like a thin towel. You know, you could fold up a flannel or a little thin towel, hand towel, put it underneath your head to give yourself that little lift. You don't want too much of a lift because you don't want your chin tucking into your chest. So hands by the side, feet hip distance apart. Remember, if we get any cramps in our hamstrings, take the feet further away from the bum. So core's nice and strong. Imprint the lower back, tucking the tailbone up to the ceiling. Begin to imprint and lift, and we're coming up. We bring it up and then very gently bring it down from the upper back to the mid back and the lower back. So nice and steady, bringing it up, bringing it down. Now we can take our hands to our ribs, make sure we're not coming up too high. And if we're coming up too high, we can make the range smaller. So nice and steady. So this time, let's take it up and let's hold it up. And remember, if you felt when you put your hands on the ribs, it's coming up too high, just lower the range, but we're just holding it now. Just holding that position, breathing nice and deep. We've got everything engaged. Now Now can we lift our right heel up and then take it down? Lift the left heel up, take it down. Bring your hands to the hips. We want to keep the hips level, up and down. What we want is so that they're naturally coming up and down as we go through the movement. I'm just going to do one side actually because I don't risk the other side. I accidentally sort of ran 4 steps after the dog the other day and my foot's been killing me ever since with my broken toe, so it was a bit of a numpty thing to do. Nice and steady. Gate had been left open around the back and I panicked and I just didn't think. Okay, last one on the right, last one on the left. Hold that bridge, hands down, upper body comes down, mid back comes down, lower back comes down. Walk your feet together, knees together, gently roll side to side. So yeah, so ever since I did that on, I think it was Sunday, I've had footache. Yeah, it's Tuesday when I'm filming this. I'm so confused. Every day is like the same day. So nice and steady. Well, it's not, but you know what I mean. You just lose track of the week. And relax. Come back to the center. So feet hip distance apart, core engaged, nice and strong. Take up, so hands just resting on the hips. Take up the right leg. Now again, this can be bent if it's more comfortable for you, or we can have it straight. So if it's bent, all we're doing is making a movement from the hip. If it's straight, it's still a movement from the hip, but it just changes the range of movement. So what we don't want to feel is the hip popping. So if you hear the hip popping, so it's like a, you know, that kind of, you might not hear it, you might feel it kind of, make your range smaller. Nice and steady, just for 4. Core engaged, pelvic floor engaged. 3. Last 2. Last 1. Bring it down. Let's do the same on the opposite side. So again, going outwards. And remember, we can do this with the knee bent. Your range is your range. No one else's. So just going in that one direction. Obviously, I've got the wall in the way here, so my range is a bit smaller. For 3, 2, 1. Bring it down. Let's change direction this time. So take it up and we change the direction. So whichever direction you was going before, opposite of. So I was going clockwise, so now I'm going anti-clockwise. So just for 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it back. Other leg comes up. And again, controlled. Nice and steady. You've got this. Just for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it down. Can you draw both knees into your chest? Just wrap your hands around, give them a little hug. Little squeeze. Little squeeze. Take both feet down, hip distance apart. Take your right leg up, hands staying on the hips. Now, 2 options here. You can either have the leg at 90 or leg straight up. If you have no sciatica issues, you can also flex the foot. So I'll demonstrate both. So if my leg is at 90, again, I can have my leg flexed. Knee wants to be in alignment with the hip, as if I'm taking my leg out, dipping my heel in the water, and then I'm bringing it back. Just the one side. So that's if my leg is at 90 degrees. If I want to go for the straight leg, it's a bigger range of movement. That means it's going to put more pressure on your lower back. So you go with what feels right for you. So let's go together, nice and steady. So breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Last 2. Last one. Bring it down. Other leg comes up. We can either have it 90, foot flexed, or not flexed, remember, or leg straight, foot flexed, again, or foot not flexed. I'm going to have mine at 90, so breathe in, breathe out. And I want to be bringing my knee exactly back above my hip. So I'm bringing it nice to that 90-degree angle. It's almost like it's going to go down to the floor, but it doesn't. Nice and steady, controlled. So for 4 and 3 and 2 and 1 and in and down, knees together, feet together, gentle sway, gentle sway. Can we just very gently roll over onto our backs, onto our fronts, sorry. And again, you can use a cushion or not, it's up to you. So, hands just beneath the head. So you can use a cushion or you can just rest your hands on the back of the hands, feet shoelaces to the floor, hip distance apart. Eyes and nose looking down, hips into the floor. Let's take a nice deep breath in as we lift up. Exhale, down. So inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Inhale. Last 2. Last one, just hold it up. Of course, you can breathe out here. Breathe in. Very gently come down. Turn the head in one direction. Let it rest there for a moment. Then rotate the head in the opposite direction. We're going to stretch out the quads in a moment. So I'd like you to take a nice deep breath in and draw one foot to the bum. Remember, you can always use a strap or a band to grab hold of the foot. We can take a hold of the back of the trouser leg, or the foot, and hold it there. We want to be feeling the stretch in the front of the thigh, so in the quadricep muscle, that big muscle on the front of the thigh. Hips are both tilting into the floor as we do this stretch. This one is just a maintenance stretch, so just maintaining where it is. Nice and steady. Just for 4, excuse me. 3, 2, 1, and release. Let's change over. Other leg comes up. Oh, nice and steady. Hold it there. Hips tilted into the floor. Feeling that stretch. Holding it. Holding it there. Breathing nice and deep. And let's take a deep breath in. As you exhale, let's take that leg down. Hands by the side of the chest. One hand underneath. Roll onto your side. One hand resting on the floor. Bend the legs. Push up. Practice that. It's a good movement to practice, just in case you ever do fall over. So come onto your knees. Toes tucked under behind you. Nice and tall. All we're going to do, just turn this way a little bit. Swing the arms, bring our heart rate up. We've been down on the floor for just over half an hour. So just bring the heart rate back up. Nice and steady. Oh, laying on the floor, that's just totally, laying on my front, just totally relaxed me, I think. Okay, so just rotating. So remember, if we've got our toes tucked under, that gives us an assist in coming up. If we've got our shoelaces to the floor, it makes it harder. So we're going to take our weaker leg forward, whichever leg that is, excuse me. We want a nice 90-degree angle, core is engaged, pelvic floor is engaged, we're nice and strong, hands by the side, let's inhale up, lift in, hands come down, turn to the front and sassy walk it out, swing it out, nice and steady, and very gently, shoulder blades back and down, inhale up, and out, inhale up, and out, give it a little wiggle. Okay, tailbone under, pelvic floor engaged, abdominal belt in place, shoulder blades back and down, and you're all done. Well done. Hopefully tomorrow your legs and bum and core will be nice and achy. Job well done. Take care.